Hey everybody, it's your boy Jay Aguila. The reason why I am making this video is before the actual episode. It's because, as you know, it's a Father's Day episode, and it's been months, or a few weeks, I should say, since that episode was recorded. So, to make a long story short, I've been having a lot of health issue. Been in the hospital back to back, not for COVID reason, but other issue that occur. I appreciate for those who've been reaching out and checking on me as well. I think those who also, had me in the prayer when I made those comments on Facebook. So, I'm doing my best to see the direction I want to take with the Shinobi unfolding. But do not fear. I think similar to what Japan is doing with anime, I'm going to do the same thing with the Shinobi Unfolded. Part two will be coming out real soon of the season. I don't know how long the season will be. I'll be frank. But with the first six, I'm really satisfied with the product and I'm satisfied with the support of our loved ones. So, with that being said, we will definitely be doing our best and trying to complete the season, even if it's less than 20, 15, however much we can, or even if it's like a once a month type of post, know that it's coming from a good intention. Clearly, I'm not at 100%, but hopefully I will be soon enough. So please enjoy our Father's Day's episode, and see you soon. All right, in three, two, one. Konnichiwa, mi gente, and we are back. Yes, I said the phrase that we said for many, many moons ago, but we are back with a whole new episode, and this one is very special. These are all for the real ones out there, the type of men's who, grind, love their kids, do what they have to do, be the protector, be the provider. We are doing the Father's Day episode. And for this Father's Day episode, I had a call and ask for favors. I had to reach out. I had to work my butt off, but it's all worth it. You know what I'm saying? We have Scott. We have Mike.
Dead buds.
And of course, he doesn't have his own child, but he has a dog in that count. We have Monte. And as you guys,
I mean, I've been called daddy once or twice.
I was not going to take that
Daddy.
route. I was not going to take that route, but hey, he has been called Poppy at time to time. So the Shinobi Unfolding, as you guys know, is being aired on Sundays for the audio contents, and as well, we post the YouTube on Wednesday night. If you are waiting for episode 5, I apologize. We had technical issue, but I'm going to promise we're going to give you both episodes back to back for you guys to enjoy. So, take it as my gift from me to you on that Wednesday. So, fellas, before we start, how you guys are feeling today?
Doing well.
Pretty good, pretty good.
Now, have you guys heard the news, the update news about the author of Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yeah.
Health issues?
Yeah, I thought it was just like I thought it was like a month. It's only like a month-long hiatus, right? Or
yes. So what it is that basically the editor boards, they have been reaching out to him, telling for him to take breaks, but since he was so passionate of like speeding up the stories, you know what I'm saying, he just came to a point that he decided, you know what, I do need to take a break, and it's going to actually be a 1-month break. So he's saying he's doing well. He said he appreciates all the fans, and hopefully by end of July, we should be seeing the Jujutsu Kaisen hiatus storyline being pushed out. So do that excite you guys? Are you happy to hear that Jujutsu Kaisen is going to continue on with their weekly spit out of the manga? Scott?
I'm honestly just happy that he's taking care of himself instead of just like pushing himself like through it. The manga is going to come out when it comes out. It's better that he we're hearing good news that he's actually going to take a legitimate break to worry about himself, versus like, oh no, I'm still going to be working on the side. Just, I'm going to take a while. Man, take your time, man. We're still going to be here. We're still going to support you. We like it. So it's going to happen.
Beautiful. Mike, what's your thoughts on the author taking a 1 month break for himself?
I'm very much about this, man. It's always nice to have these, the manga that come out like once a week. You get your fix here and there. But at the end of the day, though, man, like it's always just as nice to get the manga that comes out like once a month or so. As long as I'll just follow like that many more. Like it's not a big deal. I'd rather it be like the quality over, just getting the chapters that have like the characters in the action and no background at all. I'd rather have like these really nice and rich chapters that have like full panels, like full emotion on characters, really nice dialogue. Meanwhile, they have like full backgrounds with like lots of like little Easter eggs going on, just like really nice, rich scenery. Pull some other people on the team, like have some people support. Like the world does not need to rest on your shoulders, man. Like it doesn't need to be all about that. I'm okay with that.
That's beautiful. And Monty, being one of the guy that actually introduced Jujutsu Kaisen to us as a group, as a community, how excited are you now that it's going to be coming out soon, but yet it's going to focus on the story arc? Because part of his release comment was that he's going to try to speed up the story. So are you afraid that he's going to lose quality, or are you just excited that we're just going to have like a full story coming to an end, maybe?
Man, you already know how I am. I love like a contained story. I love when it's like buttoned up, ready to go. I don't need a rapid fire, but like legit, I don't want to sit through 700 episodes of like, with tons of filler, multiple beach episodes. Like I don't, like, I mean, it's all fine and dandy, but no, like I think like the trend of like 270, like 300 chapters, I think that's pretty solid. Like Demon Slayer had an awesome run. Let's see, Tokyo Revengers looks like it's going down that route right now, which is phenomenal. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's great. I hope this trend of like, manga and anime creators taking breaks and taking care of themselves, I hope that kind of becomes a thing. The work culture in Japan is wild, and I think just everybody deserves a break, and I think that's going to help with the creative process as well.
All right. There you guys have it. I completely agree with every single one of your comments. I'm just happy that he is taking care of his mental health overall, because, hey, we only have one life, you know what I'm saying? And we got to treasure it as much as we can, because that's why today is always called the present, you know what I'm saying? Not to get poetic or it's have my interlude, but it just happened, you know what I'm saying? So here's the main topic of tonight, you people. We are once again doing a ranking on these selected fathers that's being presented on the screen right now. Now, 4 of them are not going to be, 5 of them are not going to even be talked, but I do want to point out there's one gentleman, right? There's one dude right below of Anime. I don't know who he is. We don't know who he is. My research department wasted 24 hours of our resource looking and finding out. Bing! God damn it, couldn't even get this straightened out for us. But if you know who this man is, please comment down below and tell us who he is, where I could watch him, and why he made it to the battle. Scott, what you got?
I'm about to say, we put his face on like a milk carton and be like, have you seen this anime? Just see if people start looking at milk cartons again.
I'm about to work on my Photoshop skill. It's about to be.
we need to find this anime. We need to treat it well. We need to figure out who this is
and why he was in the bad dad group. Now, all these individuals that you see in this image right here, like I said, we're not going to talk about the JoJos, we're not going to talk about the Gojo or Mr. Mystery Man himself, but we're doing a combination of the American and the Japanese, and we're going to do our best to rank from the bestest dad, numero uno, to the worst of the worst, which is going to be Mr. 12, bottom 12 himself. So to start off the show, Someone a little bit fresh, someone who was a little bit more mysterious, most powerful, who went from universe to universe looking for these precious stone. Where in Loki, we saw that they are paperweight. They mean nothing in the TVA.
That's
But
rough.
Spoilers.
I'm sorry, but it had to be said. Hey, if you haven't seen Loki,
You had a week. That was a week ago. That's old news.
Episode
Exactly.
2's out already, son.
What's going on?
Some of us don't have as much time to see things. All right, guys. And I watch it with my significant other
Mike's
too.
a dad.
So
Mike's a dad. Okay,
He
still watched it. All right.
I can't watch it without my wife though. I gotta watch it with her. So it's a big difference, man.
It didn't really ruin anything for you. Just know that.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
The
All
TVA
those listeners though who haven't seen it yet.
But the TVA,
you're right.
the TVA is one of the most powerful beings so far, and it's just mind blowing. But this man, Thanos, you are on the chopping block, and we have Senpai, we have Mike, and we have Monty to be your judge and executor to know where you are placed. So, fellas, let's start with Scott real quick. Where would you place Mr. Thanos?
I'm gonna be real with you guys. He's actually my favorite Marvel character, so it's a little tough for me.
Ooh.
He's actually my favorite. But we're not talking about what type of character he is. We're talking about what kind of dad he is. And based off of when you watch him in the movie, literally, I mean, he literally loved a character specifically to use them at the end to get an Infinity Stone. He had to love something in order to lose it so that he can acquire what he really wanted. So he is, in essence, he just faked love, you know? Like all the girls who do you dirty. You know, think about it. Like, all the girls who do you dirty, he faked the love. He told himself it was real love, but it wasn't, just so he can get an Infinity Stone. I think that's pretty scumbag. It makes you, that's waking up every day and telling your kid you love him, saying, I love you, love you. And as soon as it's like, I love you, Dad, it's like, I don't love you, get out my face. Like, that's literally what he did, man. So, I mean, is he a super awful bad dad? Nah, but is he a bad dad? Yeah, he's kind of a POS dad, man. I'd take him to court for child support.
Right. So I feel like you're ranking him where in the 6, 7, 8. Like where you placing this man at? What?
I'm gonna say he's like a 6, man. He's not good enough to be that bad, but like he's kind of bad.
All right.
Fake love.
All right, number 6 from Scott. Mike, what's your case on him with the evidence presented?
What was the stone that he actually had? Was it the
Soul?
It was the soul stone. That's right. So in order to get the soul stone, he actually had to present something that he loved, and the soul stone accepted that thing that he loved. So he wouldn't have been able to get the soul stone unless he loved something.
Yeah, it wasn't fake.
Right. Mm-hmm. So it was not fake. So he did actually love her. It might have been in like his own like somewhat like twisted way, but he did love her. And like whether or not like he was a good dad, maybe not so much. The fact that like he had his own like adopted daughters like fight each other constantly to the death, and every time like Nebula lost, he basically tore her apart and then like put her back together to improve her, to make her better. I mean, there's a certain point where like you don't argue with like other like parents like child rearing, just like you don't mess with that. So, but like at the end of the day, that's pretty messed up. Like there's a certain point where it's like, I'm gonna have to call child support, man. That's bad. Like there's like, oh, like, you know, like whatever, oh, like they're spanking the kid, whatever, they do that. But like, oh man, like they're fucking like beating the shit out of their kid. And they're ripping their arms off and replacing it with cybernetics. Time to call child support. So like, yeah, definitely a point of just like, all right, he had ideas, and like you could even think of like Thanos, like, all right, he had ideas about like the universe, like how to better the universe. And he was trying for something better. He just had some really messed up ideas of how to get there, like wiping out half of the universe in order to get there. So I got to put him down like at like maybe like a 3 or 4. Like he had some really bad ideas, but good intentions.
So top is good are 1 and 3, bad are
Oh, okay.
so we're talking
Okay,
about
so
like
I'd
10,
say
11,
more like
12.
so all right, so low is good.
High low numbers are good.
Okay,
High
so I put
number
them at all right, so I put them at like a 7.
a 7. All right,
So like bad.
there we
Oh,
go. And
oh,
Monty,
yeah.
yo,
Okay,
go
that
ahead,
works.
Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I'm trying to think in relation to the other guys. Yeah,
Ooh,
so
you can change
so
your mind. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You'll
change
be
mine to a 7 with Mike. He ain't no 6. He's not that great.
okay.
But change
Okay,
that to a 7
so
with him. He's
he
yeah,
really
below
yeah, he was
average. Below
okay,
average.
all right, so like 1 is like best dad, right?
Yeah, like oh my god, I love you, pops.
Okay, so he wasn't. Yeah, sorry. So he wasn't bad, but definitely. Oh, all right. These numbers are screwing with me. Yeah, all right. So he wasn't. There's a lot of really bad guys on bad dads on here. So I'm gonna give him probably like, maybe like 4 or 5. I feel like this list is gonna like get bumped around here. Definitely not near like good dad territory, but there's just a lot of bad dads on this that he's probably gonna get bumped around.
Okay, so
Okay.
4 or 5. I'm gonna put him on 5 for you, all right? Because
Sure.
it doesn't sound like he's that nice of a pops.
No,
You know,
no,
all
he's
right.
definitely not in the good category, but there's a lot worse on here.
All right, Monty, you just gotta give me your not much of a reason, but just your rating of like.
All right, no problem. Because I gotta say, MCU Thanos did nothing wrong except be a except be a shitty dad. I mean, a terrible dad. But yeah, I'm gonna rank him at a 5 because like he tried to be, he loved Gamora the most, but in a very misguided way. Like his whole plan is destroyed. He had a messed up childhood. Like he did the best he could with what he thought was right. I mean,
don't know that in MCU.
Gamora turned out all right because like she saw the example of what not to be like. So yeah, he's a 5. I give him a 5.
You give him a 5. All right,
Yeah, there's some real POSs on this list, so I'm putting him at a 5.
That's what makes this tricky.
All right, I mean, like right there, you guys average him around a 6 right now. But let's see if Scott changes his number by the next guy. This man, if you guys have not seen the early 1990s animation of Baki the Grappler, you do not understand the frustration of many of others. And this man, for others, he's terrible. For other, it's understandable because he didn't, didn't raise a bad kid. He was not that absent in most opinion. But other people say he's a shitty person of a human being. And this person name is Hama Jujiro from Baki the Grappler and the Baki series on Netflix. Now, I believe we're all in common with this man. And like I said, most say he's not bad. Others say he's worse. Monty, break it down for us, man. Your reason and what's your score?
All right, Yujiro Hanma. This dude is less of a father and more of an architect of Baki's entire existence.
Oh, that's
like
that's very poetic.
Like in a sense, like he just wanted to, like obviously wanted like a strong challenger, but he wants somebody to be like any dad I picture wants their kid to be the best, wants to be better than them. But whoa, did he do that in some really terrible ways?
Twice, no spoiler, but he did it twice. But go ahead, Monty.
So yeah, I mean, for me, I say for dads, I want to give people the benefit of the doubt, say his heart's in the right place. But like, yeah, he's getting a 6. He's getting a 6.
Okay, 6 from Monty. Mike, real quick, man. A quick reason in your rating on Mr. Hanma himself, the strongest being in the Baki universe. Let us not forget, and his purpose in life is to have a child to defeat him. So, Mike, what you got?
I'm not as familiar with this character. I had to do a little YouTube digging on him before the show.
Oh, sad.
Because the Baki show I didn't go terribly deep on. Never mind, I didn't watch the 90s show of it. From what I do know of him, it sounds like that. Yeah, his motivations are mostly pretty selfish. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a number of these guys that are just kind of like, they're not so much like fathers, they're more just like they're sperm donors. So
Ooh,
yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, like they're not dads, they're just fathers.
They're like, here he is.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's my biological father, but that's not my dad.
So,
Some from the little bits that I've seen of him, like, I don't know, like it was just like that, like he was the opponent that happened to be his father.
his creator.
Right, exactly. I don't know. I put him at, I don't know.
5 is taken on your list, on your portion.
Right. I'd say Thanos was probably a little bit better than him. So
That's
I
generous.
guess that's right. I don't know. Like at least Thanos had like good intentions, whereas like this guy, like he just wanted to fight.
I
So
mean,
I was like,
here's a quick insight. This man was able to stop a war. He was able to prevent the United States of going after him by going straight to the White House and shaking the president's hands and telling him, like, we're done. And they never went after him ever again. And he used the American resource for his own due bidding, which is just to fight the strongest being, man or beast. So that's his purpose in life. So with that little information said as well.
yeah, but that's just like a test of his strength. He didn't do that for any greater good, though, correct?
Yeah, it was personal satisfaction, to be honest with you.
Right, exactly. He doesn't seem to have any like greater good in him, so I'll put him at a 6, I guess. Like he's still kind of middle of the road.
Yeah, I mean, he did some shitty thing. I'm not gonna lie. All right, Scott. We threw out the evidence. We put in some information on the spot. It's up to you to give the last verdict. What's
All right.
what it is, man?
This is gonna be easy, cut and dry. All right. First off, he's an 8 because he's a terrible person. He's a terrible dad. And I'll tell you why he's a terrible dad. First off, okay, he didn't even really want a son. He just wanted an opponent. Okay, Baki's just a means to an end for him. All right. He literally killed Baki's mom to motivate him to be a stronger fighter, first off, so that he had motivation to kill him, which is like a big deal. That's spoilers, but you know what? That's from the original, like, Baki the Grappler. So if you haven't watched that, that's your own fault.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay? Like, he literally doesn't care about Baki other than if he gets strong so they can fight him. Because he's like, the only reason why Baki exists is because I'm the strongest character in this entire universe. So who's going to be stronger than me? Let me just have a kid. Maybe my kid will be stronger than me. It's the only reason why Baki even exists, bro. And Jack, obviously. But he's just a terrible person, man. The only redeeming factors is that, like, I can even think about is that when Baki was hitting like a block where he couldn't progress any further, he literally told Baki's girlfriend, listen, sleep with him and do it a bunch, because that like unlocked some of his latent potential, which is dumb. It's just so wild. Like, he had a block. He literally had the block, guys.
Sometimes you just need
motivation.
You gotta unclog the pipes.
You gotta clean the pipes, bro. Yep. Yo, this is cabin boy. This is cabin boy, man.
These pipes.
So, dude, literally, man, because like right after that, he was able to fight some guys that he wasn't able to beat before and just smashed on them. It's like, it's crazy. And even then, like later on in the other seasons, he ends up teaming up. He's like, I'm gonna help you guys and be part of this team so we can fight against these other guys. That is the only time he's done anything that seems like he might be a good dad, but it's only for his personal game. So he's an A in my book because he's a piece of shit. Sorry.
Right. So I mean, you know what? I'm just the host. I said I'm not going to get myself personally involved with this, but I want to have more discussion about this man in a future episode. So with that being said, and if people are hearing this, my emotion is all up and down because I have different perspective of this man.
Because you watched it all, Jay, if I remember. You watched all of Baki.
Yeah, so quick info. You guys could watch the 90 version of the full season of 1 and 2, which is on YouTube. You could see it on the well presented, well delivered. And then the Baki series that you see in Netflix, that's really part 3 and 4 of the storyline. So if you really want the full adventure, start on YouTube. But I have mixed emotion because I've seen his past, I've seen his future, and Anyway, you guys average as him as a 7. Yay, 7. So he's he's right below average. So with that being said, we're moving down to an American hero to others, the Dark Knight himself, the man that his purpose in life was just to, overcome his fear and protect the city that he cared about with his money. And throughout his journey, he had wonderful psychics, or, sons, if you might say, that most turn out not that bad. Others, really, really shitty people. And this man, his name is Bruce, the Batman Wayne. So, Mike, floor is yours. With the information that you know about Mr. Batman himself, Mr. Bruce Wayne, and all of his glorious money, and the 4 people that he was able to adopt in a sense and train them to be his sons, except one of them was his biological son, Damian Wayne. Mm-hmm. Where you placed him at? Where you put Mr. Batman at?
For here, man, I'm gonna put Batman at number 1. I find, yep. I feel the bitterness in your voice every time you say money on Batman, because I know like I've heard a lot of like the anti-fan theories on Batman. There's like, like, oh, why doesn't he put his money into like social programs and whatnot? Listen, man, he already does. He already does.
Afford it. He would have done for the price of a Batmobile. He could have put like entire.
He already does. There's that man. Like when he's not Batman, he's at charity balls. Have you ever never watched like the animated series? Every single time that Bruce Wayne is in a scene, he is always at a charity event. Every single time. The man's in a tux, he's at a charity event. He runs multiple like orphanages and like schools, and like that's where all the rest of his money goes. Otherwise, like he's done everything else.
I mean, but not to cut you real quick. You're just saying what type of person one of his persona is. But the persona we're trying to focus on is father.
I got you. That was just my inner nerd jumping out and defending
Mr. Bruce. Yeah, okay, Mr. Bruce Wayne. Okay, but now Bruce Wayne's father. Now talk to me about him. Like
I think he's number 1, and I've been waiting to bring this up. I was actually going to be bringing this up for the bad dads, but yes, I imagine you're all familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So like any kid, like everyone needs like basic needs in life. So you need like your physical needs, like you need like food, you need just like a roof over your head. Then you need like safety. You need to feel actually safe in your home. After that, you need to feel loved. You need to feel belonged. After that, you need to have like self-esteem, and then like self-actualization. A lot of these dads, like they didn't even like have that like physical safety in their homes. Like they never provided a home. They never provided food. They just like hit it, quit it, and then like were off in their lives. Like they were just sperm donors, and that's it. They did nothing for their kids. But Batman not only did he adopt some of these kids, he raised them, he fed them, he taught them, like he did literally everything for them. He then also gave them a purpose in life. He helped them develop like what they like wanted them to be. Like, they could have just been like this angry like voice inside their head that that he recognized in himself. That when he was young, like he was angry at like what was it? Was it Joe Cool that gunned down his parents down in the alley? And so like he looks at Dick Grayson that his parents were cut down, and so he recognizes that, and it's like, you know what? I see the look in this kid's eyes, and I don't want him to, like just go off on his own and, try to like something stupid. Let me actually take him under my wing, train him properly, and that way, like he can actually like take that energy and focus it into something good. And a lot of them like have done a lot of good in the world, like and not just like randomly like gone into a bar and like try to fight some of the Two-Faces thugs or something.
So that's my grading. Also, throwing into the evidence pile, he not only did Dick Grayson, but also Tim Drake, as well as Damian Wayne. So there were about a few Robins after Dick. So Monty, my man Mike gave you a full detailed story of him being the father, but you have your own perspective. You have your own outlook on this. Where you put Mr. Batman at as a father?
Oh man, as a great great intentions as a person, not the best dad. I'm putting him at I'm gonna give him a 3. I'm gonna give him a 3. And that's only because his children were second to his obsession of justice. Did he give them unrealistic standards to live up to? In some cases, a lot of pressure, and that could be detrimental to a child, So I get it. But a dude who he had Alfred, who was like the best dad, but like, it's neither here nor there. Like, that's
Alfred ain't on this list.
But yeah, so he's a solid 3 for me.
All right. Hey, Scott, man, you just got to throw a rating because we spit out facts on Batman, but it's your verdict right now. Where do you put Mr. Batman? What's the number?
Bruce Wayne's a good dad. Bad dad is a terrible dad. Bad dad's not a good dad, but he's a 4 in my eyes, man. Batman is like a 4 because what Mike said, all of it's true. All of it is definitely true. But you know what makes him a 4? The fact that he literally knew that his life was coming to an end and decided to have his DNA implanted in women. And that's how we got Terry McGinnis, his illegitimate son, okay, that mad people tend to forget about.
That was not him. That was Amanda Waller, baby.
That wasn't him.
Yo,
That wasn't him.
No.
That wasn't him. That wasn't Bruce.
Out my face. Out my face with that.
I want to hear it. He knew. Whoa,
No,
you're trying to tell me the world's great. Whoa.
No, it wasn't his decision.
Yes, he did. They talked about that afterwards.
No,
Yes,
they
he did.
didn't.
He knew.
He did know for a while, but not in the beginning.
Get out of here.
Because he's the detective. Because he figured it out afterwards.
He knows, okay? And then he groomed Terry and never even told him. That's the
J
problem, man.
effect is in full maximum right now. My God.
Let me tell you, I'm coming at it, man. Let me just tell you right now, okay? The fact is, what makes Batman a bad dad is because he's the do this because I tell you to and doesn't give you a reason. And it's like, you're just supposed to blindly trust this guy. And it's like, well, but why do you want me to do this? And it's like, don't worry about it. Just do it. It's like, but if I cut off my hand, I'm going to bleed to death, Dad. And he's just like, don't worry about it. Just do it. And that's Batman's law. So, but he does save people, teaches people to be good people and look for the best of them. And he did take these kids in when they had nowhere else to go, which is a very admirable thing. Then again, the fact that he's a multi-billionaire doesn't hurt his pockets to do so.
Not a single bit.
That's what you do when you have that much money, though. So he's not a bad person.
I highly recommend people to take a watch of Under the Red Hood and then come at me telling me he's good or bad, right? The movie, that doesn't spoil or give away anything, but watching Under the Red Hood help you make a better decision on what type of father he is. So there we go. With the 1, 3, 4 numbers right there, we are averaging Batman as a 2. So he's on the number 2 spot at this current moment. So this man right here took anime and he went straight to the moon and beyond. He went to a planet called Namek, you know what I'm saying? But before Namek, he had this wonderful son Gohan, you know what I'm saying? And Gohan was inside of a pod when he saw his father die right in front of him. And others say that, this person is not really Gohan's father. It's Piccolo. But that's here or there. Piccolo is not on the list. Who is on the list is a man named Son Goku, a man that was there in the early stage of his first child's life. He was there during the preteens of his second child and somewhat there during his granddaughter's lifestyle. All right. But that's just a little bit of an insight of Son Goku. If you don't know who Son Goku is, where do you live, dude? Like, where you been? Like, for real. So, Scott, start us off with Mr. Son Goku. Where do you place Mr. Son Goku as a father?
Goku's he's a 3. He's a 3 in my eyes, man. He's definitely not a bad dad. He's just stupid. Like, that's really what it is. You can't blame him for being a stupid, ignorant person. Like, he grew up in the woods with nobody there to teach him anything because he's fighting his grandfather at a young age. And he had a good grandfather, so Gohan took care of him. But honestly, man, what makes him a kind of a crappy dad in my eyes is all I think about. I was thinking about this while I was at work today, honestly, when he was trying to get Gohan to turn Super Saiyan for the first time. And Gohan was like, just do it, Dad. I can take it. And he just cold-heartedly turned Super Saiyan and shot a Kamehameha at his son with intention to kill him. And Gohan literally was just like, I made bad decisions. Like I made a bad choice. I told my dad I was real, but I'm not. And yo, Goku did not care. And then afterwards, like, it's probably like beating your kid for something he didn't do. And then afterwards be like, it's okay, son. It's all right. You want to go get some ice cream? Like, because afterwards he was so happy Gohan turned into Super Saiyan. He was just like, oh yeah, I almost just killed my son though.
Yeah.
But
That was a close one, dude.
yo, like, he always, like, it's crazy when you think of it that way. But honestly, whenever like the Earth's in danger, the first thing he thinks about is his friends and family. Like he thinks about
That's
his
a
kids
fact.
and his wife. So like, he's not a terrible person. He's just
Even though he
stupid,
forgot the
so.
promise of Chi-Chi, you know, at the age of what, 12, and then 6 years later he fought her to then propose to her. Yeah, great guy. But Mr.
I say he was a good
Monty,
husband, man. I say he's a good.
I just had to sneak that in there.
Yeah,
But
we have to
Monty,
go into a whole new genre of anime to get to the good husbands. Like, there's no good husbands in like these types of animes. There's none.
Facts.
Better role models.
There's
We need
no good
better
husbands.
role models. There's great stepdads. There's great
Oh,
stepdads.
we're not going there.
bro.
No, that's the
Terrible
Shinobi unfolded
models,
for you
great
guys.
Stepdads.
No. Nah, but Monty, real talk, man. Where you place Mr. Son
Oh,
Goku?
man, I just think of him self-destructing with Cell. He's like, hey, Gohan. He's like, your mom's pregnant. She wants me to get a job. I got to do something.
I saved that just for you. I saved that just for you, man. Yes. Oh my God.
This is out.
The Cell arc.
Yeah, I'm saying he's 4 for me, man. He's 4. He couldn't.
I hear you, man.
He loved them kids, but he's like, nah.
Say no more. Say no more. Yo, Mr. Mike. The evidence on the table, man. What is your verdict for Mr. Son Goku?
Yeah, I'm gonna drop him at like a 4. The dad definitely seems to be like a side gig for them. You know, every now and then it's like, well, you know, like in between world threats, I guess I'll have some kids, and yeah, it'd probably be a cool thing to make sure they're trained. But priority is me training. Priority 1 is always me training, even if I'm dead.
And
I
like
said he was a 3, right?
you said, you put him on the 3. Right now, he's averaging overall as a 4 with everybody.
Can I put him into a 4 with Mike? Because I realized Goku's literally definition of I went to the store to get milk. I just realized that, yo, he's just like, training? Oh, I'm going to get milk, guys. Never comes back.
I mean, he comes back eventually, but then as soon as he comes back, like, the milk went bad. I'm sorry. Let me go get more milk.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
he
license?
comes back around with tax time, man. When it's time to claim your kids. That's when he comes back.
Oh, you want me to
It's
learn
time
how
to
to
fight.
drive? Oh,
That's it.
training. All right, overall, Mr. Goku himself, unanimous is a solid 4. There is the midpoint in the sense, guys. So we're about to get a little bit quicker, a little bit rapid, but here we go. From Hunter x Hunter, this man was introduced later on after the end arc, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, this is the man that created a whole virtual world of video game for his son, Gon. And Gon's purpose was just to find his father, you know what I'm saying? His father left him certain rules, certain clues, and certain expectation of him. And for us, Hunter x Hunter fan, he reached those expectations. But during a life and death scenario, this man did not want even to be close to his son. He was not only a few miles away to be there for his son during his dying breath, but he decided not to, for a quote that I'm not going to say, but someone in this group will. So with that being said, Mike, I'm just going to go to you directly because I know you shared with us, you have little information, but with the research that you have done with your department, what have you guys decided? Oh, his name is Jin Freeze from Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, Jin, I'm going pretty low on this guy. He was definitely he liked adventuring. He happened to stop on this random island with this girl there, knocked up. I'm very curious of like whether or not he even knew Gon actually existed. Because like if he did, that even puts it lower on the list. Scott, what was the quote that they said like when Gon was in the hospital?
oh, Leorio was just like, your son's dying in the hospital, and you don't even go visit him. Jin was just like, did he ask me to be there?
Mother trucker.
That's
What?
That's wild. Did he ask me to come? Like, he's dying. How is he gonna ask?
right. That's messed up. That's messed up. But you see, like even like the ones that just wanted like someone to fight, they at least like cared like enough to just like, oh, I better have this guy around so I can fight them later.
Facts.
Like
Good point.
he right, this guy was bad. So at the end of the series, like it made no sense why this guy would actually like sit around at the top of the tree and talk to this kid. Like it made like no sense. Like, man, like you wouldn't sit next to me like in the hospital, but now you'll sit next to me and chit chat about space. Like I really think, like, I haven't read the manga, but I think that was bullshit. Like I think like he's just like, oh, you actually caught up to me. Let me make up about this like time and space continuum stuff. Yeah, that's why I've been dodging you for the last like 10 15 years of your life, whatever. It's not because I don't want anything to do with you. It's because I've been trying to space. I've been trying to get to space. Like this guy is like straight garbage. Like he really likes the single life, and he very much regrets not pushing plan B's down Gon's mom's throat.
Nope. So what's the number?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm going pretty low on this one. Like we're not like Full Metal Alchemist low here, but we're yeah, I'm going. Let's see. I'm going like.
You could go like 8.
Go like 8.
10.
8. Yeah, I'll go 8. 8. Yeah. He's pretty trash.
He was trash. Yeah. I mean, while Scott think of his number real quick, keep in mind the whole plot or purpose that Gon had was to meet his father. You know what I'm saying? The evidence that he left in the room encouraged Gon to push forward, to level up, to be able to be he had like a purpose, So for us anime who first watched Hunter x Hunter, we felt like, oh, Jin is this powerful being. He's going to be an awesome person. But then at the end, he was a letdown. So Scott, you're a Hunter x Hunter type of guy. You know what I'm saying? Where you place him?
Yeah, Jin's a 9. He's a bum. He's not in the anime very much. He's in the manga a little bit more. But even then, when it comes to being a dad, he just doesn't care about his kid. Like most of the time, people will bring up Gon, and then he's just like, yeah, he's an afterthought. Let's talk about what's really happening right now. So he's an 8, 9. He's terrible. He's 9. He's a 9.
He's a 9. All right, and Monte.
All right, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Your kid's on his deathbed. It's pretty messed up. You only want to hang out with your kid when he's cool. After that awkward phase, I was like,
one of the cool kids.
He's like, oh, you did good. I'm proud of you, man. Like,
call me when I don't have to pay child support.
Woo!
So I'm gonna go with 11. He's an 11 for me.
Oh, word! So you guys average him right on the 10th spot right there. Mr. Jin himself, number 10, averaging. Now, picking up the pace a little bit more. I'm not going to say much about this guy because if you haven't watched this series, Full Metal Alchemist, there's not much to be said, but his name is Shu Tucker, all right? And Mr. Tucker is frontline and center in front of the 3 judge right now. And we're going to start with Monty. Monty, what is your verdict on this monster?
Man, I don't have kids, but I would imagine I would love having kids, and I love having a dog. But I don't know how I would feel about combining those loves. You know what? For that, he's a 12. Worst of the worst.
Boom. There we go. 12. Mr. Mike. Mr. Tucker himself.
Yeah, this guy I'm saving the 10 spot for. This is pretty horrible. Like he had this obsession with creating the chimera, and he like exhausted everything he had and like could not achieve it. So what does he do? He sacrifices his own child in order to obtain his obsession. So nothing else matters more than his obsession, not even his child. His child is meaningless before his obsession. This guy is an absolute 10, worst of the worst.
10. And Mr. Scott, now that you're
Can we
back.
give higher than a 10? Monty's over here giving
Right.
12s, and I
Oh,
want to give like
yeah,
a.
I thought we
I
were
want to
doing
give like
12
a
to 12
1,000.
12 characters. No?
I want
Yeah,
to give
it's
1,000.
Yeah, right. Yeah, send them all the way to the back.
Can I?
So
Whatever
you're
is
saying
gonna
the
put
12?
him.
12?
Yeah, I want him. I want him to be going to the end of the line, man.
Yeah, so
Like,
Mike, you agree he's the worst of the worst? 'Cause
He's the
it's-
worst of this bunch.
Yeah, you
Absolutely.
want
so
a
he's a
12,
12 then. All right.
he's
You
a
know
12
what?
for you.
I'm going to change your score, Mr. Mike, from a 10 to a 12, so that way he'd just be Mr. Bottom himself.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh yeah, he's back of the line,
Listen,
man.
I don't got much to say on it because you guys already said it, and I'm pretty sure when we did the Good Dads Bad Dads episode, like he was like the one of the worst dads that we also
we
put out
trash
there.
him.
But
We
on the
trash
on
him
the
hard.
on the super real for that man, he like sacrificed his kid, but he tried to keep him around just so he could still claim on the taxes. I'm telling you, man, like that's a bad dad. Like he tried to get rid of it, but he's like, no, I still got a kid and I got a dog though. Like,
And we're off to the
rude.
next guy.
Next one, next
Right.
terrible dad, absolutely terrible dad.
So this man right here, he was number 2. You know what I'm saying? He was player number 2 in the My Hero Academia ranking list. His ability is fire. Oh, his purpose in life is similar to Goku and Hana, if you think about it, because all he wanted was the perfect son. And he had to find the perfect spouse with the right ability, which was ice. Now, they attempted not once, not twice, but at least 4 or more times. I forgot the exact number of kids until Mr. Todoroki himself, Todoroki was
Four kids.
was able to come and provide the ability to both fire and ice. Now, with that being said, I present to you Mr. NG, Mr. Endeavor, Todoroki to the front light. My verdicts, my judge, what do you place him at? Let's start with Scott.
Yo, he's gonna take my number 1 spot, honestly,
Whoa.
because
Bro,
he is a pretty bad dad. His reasoning for what he did is not great, okay? But like where the anime is at and where things have gotten, it's so not to run into like manga world, but what you see is that one thing that a dad will probably never do with their kids, unless they're like drawn into the back, is admit their faults to them. Probably not until they're older. And that's what he did, man. He admitted that he was terrible and he did bad, and that he really wants to do his best to be a better dad. And that takes a lot for somebody, especially in his position, to do. I honestly think he has like probably more redeeming qualities than the rest of the dads on the list versus them. And on top of that, too, being the number 2 hero, always being in All Might spot is a heavy burden to bear when you're really like trying your hardest to be the best and just being dwarfed by somebody like All Might. So it's no excuse, but he can be a good dad, indefinite. And I think
people could change. People could change, and that's the.
He's actually, he's probably like the definition of change.
Same thing I said about Baki's dad, but I'm not in this episode fully.
No.
So off to Michael. Michael, Mr. Endeavor, like, where do you place him, man?
Absolutely, man. I'm right there with Scott. I definitely see Endeavor as like as the redemption arc guy. You know, you started off by seeing him as like this, this evil like dad, but he's a hero. But like he's always been overbearing on his son. But then like you keep seeing like these little pieces, more and more and more of that. Like he might have like done some stuff. Like he might have been like early on like really harsh on his children. But then like when you take like a really big step back, like what was his overall goal? He saw this world that was like coming up with like stronger and stronger villains, and he was like, I'm not strong enough. I need to raise the next generation. And so how do we do that? I need to find a wife who's willing to help raise children as well that are going to be stronger. And how do we do that? It's controversial and it's actually really frowned upon, but not illegal technically. So we need to get together and make this like children with stronger quirks. And like it's and yeah, you'll see that it's like, oh, it's rough, man. But like, yeah, like Scott was saying, like he actually like he talks very openly about his mistakes and how he's trying to be better. And most, if not all, of these characters on this round table here do not do that. Like that takes a big man to talk to your kids about like what they've done wrong. And like as a dad myself, like that takes some big steps and some deep breaths to talk to your kids about like how you've messed up. And like I tell you what, like your kids, they appreciate that when you do that to them. So yeah, I'll put them right at like at number two, right next right up there with Batman.
All right, there we go. We got 1 and 2, but Monty, my last judge. What's your verdict, man?
Bro, actually, yeah, Mike covered it perfectly when he said, like, being the most open and being a strong man. Number two for me, man. Number two for sure. I think he's one of the better dads on this entire list because he owns his mistakes.
Oh, hey! We got the battles of two between Batman and Mr. Endeavor, Hero's father. Go figure. But we'll go back to it to declare who's going to be number one. So moving on. This is another American adult anime in the United States where we saw this beautiful adventure between four nations, but his grandfather started such an evil thing, and he took over. His name is Fire Lord Ozai. Lord Ozai. He is, the father of. I'm blanking out on Avatar. Forgive me, my people.
What? Zuko and Azula?
Yeah,
Zuko.
Zula
Prince
and Prince Zuko. So, guys, Mr. Fire Lord himself, where do we place him at? Mike, where do you place Mr. Lord? And notice we're doing back-to-back fire users too. Like, mind blowing.
He's pretty down there, man. He basically saw his kids as a means to an end, that they were tools. Like, yeah, he was not a father figure to them at all. So as a dad, like, he's pretty down there. And like, even as a person, like, he was pretty terrible. Like, he wiped out the entire air tribe. He was very like, I think like, didn't he also like, he tried to wipe out the water tribe as well because he saw them
They
as
were
a
next,
threat.
yep.
Yeah, they were next. So we're talking about like, he's basically like the Hitler of the Airbender world. So yeah, he's got to be like number 9, man.
Number 9. All right.
Yeah.
Scott.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Mike on that. I wanted to say he was probably like, nah, you know what? He's like a 10. He's a 10, man, because literally, like, he banished his own son just because, what was it? I forgot why he banished Zuko to begin with, but like, he literally burned his face. He's like what Endeavor is, but if he decided to just continue being a villain or in a terrible dad, like literally that's what it was. Instead of like trying to better himself, like Fire Lord Ozai is like literally like the complete opposite of what Endeavor is. Like, he decides to reign supreme and bend people to his will. Even his kids, if his kids don't listen to him, they're just the cannon fodder. That's it. He'd rather throw them away because they're not useful. So
yep. So 10, 9, Monty.
9 all day.
9 all day.
I mean, I kind of want to drop him to a 10 spots. Yeah, let's call it 10. Let's do it at 10 because he literally pit his children against each other.
So, quick question, guys. Right now in the 10th spot is Mr. Jin from Hunter x Hunter. So, do we consider Jin to be lower than the Fire Lord or a little bit higher than the Fire Lord?
Lower. I'll put him in 11 then, if that's the case.
How many total spots we got?
12.
Oh, okay. There are 12. I keep thinking we were 10.
12 solid, not going nowhere is Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker solid at 12.
So before Tucker, are we seeing are we seeing the Fire Lord is right next to him, or we're seeing Jin from Hunter x Hunter, who is a licensed hero hunter in this anime universe that was trying to do a lot of BS. Is he next to Tucker?
I'd say Fire Lord is 11. He doesn't really have any redeeming qualities as a father or a person. Like that. Like he was just an archetype. Like he wasn't really meant to have any positive features. No. Like Jin's a piece of shit, but like
he is.
Like
Yeah, but
he
he's
was
not
at
even
least.
there. He's not even
No,
there.
he's not. But at least like in the show, like he was meant to have positive qualities. It doesn't mean he does.
The
But
illusion.
like-
nobody likes him.
yeah.
Nobody likes
No.
Jin. Even out of his group of the Zodiacs, man, nobody likes him. They just think he's lazy because he's the dog.
Nobody. Look, you're a fan of your hero until you actually meet him in person. All right.
Right.
So, sadly, that's what happened with Jin, and I agree with Mike. Firelord is taking the 11th spot. So we got the worst of the worst right now.
Yeah.
So-
All right.
So number 12 is Tucker. Number 11 is the Lord, Firelord from Avatar. And number 10, we have Jin. So right there, those are your crappiest crap fathers we ever have. So let's figure out who's a little bit higher in a sense. Now, this guy, it's 2021, all right? You know what I'm saying?
Sure is.
And people unfortunately opinion about their thoughts very publicly, and you know we live in the era of cultural cancel culture, or however it's stated. We got the Grubhub dad in the roster, and as you can see in this clip right here, he does this stunt, right? And then Mike also presented us with another clip that he pulled this stunt. So, with the information that we know about this poor guy, it could have been a misunderstanding, but we will never know. We'll never know. Monty, where do we put Mr. Grubhub Pops?
I sucks that I didn't consider him at first. So I was like, man, I mean, I could have slide a couple people down a notch, and I would probably throw him in my number 4 slot.
Okay.
And
Well-
move Goku and Thanos and Hanma down each one, respectively.
Respectfully, you don't consider him as number 3. 3 is still open. 5 is still open.
No, my 3 spots already selected. So yeah, you know what? I mean, screw it. Whatever. He's like a 7. It's whatever. You know, he legit was
A
like,
chicken sandwich.
yo, he's like, yo,
harsh.
this kid was hungry, and the whole time he's like, yeah, we getting that food. He's like, oh, food's here. He's like, all right. He's like, I know you've been complaining. Mom's not here to cook anything. I have no skills in the kitchen. He's calling. He's like, all right, fine. He's like, food's here, having a grand old time. And then the kids are probably about to eat, and he's like, wait a minute. Like, no, like, you've been doing this whole song and dance routine, you're neglecting your kids. Like, yo, he's a 7, all right?
He's a 7. Mike.
You know who would have fed their kids? Yurijo Hanma would have fed his kids. All right?
Stop it. He's
Yeah,
not
so they can get big and strong, and so he can kick their ass. That's
exactly.
why.
Nope.
Mike, what's the verdict, man? There's not a lot of evidence on this man instead of him walking out, going into the car and driving away.
I think we need to do more research into this. I'm calling those later videos deep fakes, and I don't think that they're real. If you look on the original video, the man was just happy. He was dancing, and I felt deeply attacked by these later videos.
OMG.
This man was just trying to order himself some food because his kids were hungry, and sometimes you don't feel like cooking. I could slave away in the kitchen for hours on end, and all of a sudden my kids just look at me and was like, I just want chicken nuggets. I'm like, you know what? Chicken nuggets, whatever. And then, I just want to do a little dance, and like everyone's just attacking me for my dad jokes, and like as I do my little spin move, and now I'm at a 7 because I'm a bad dad. So right here.
Those chicken fingers just for you guys.
Yeah, they got the chicken fingers. You want some sauce with that?
Nice.
So
Dinosaur nuggets don't count.
Facts.
So,
I know.
So is he also on your 7th spot? Is he on your 8th spot?
No, I don't know. What's open down below? I don't know, like a 3? I'll put him at like a
3.
I'll put him at like a 3. Yeah, he's at my 3.
He's in your 3.
He's perfectly fine. I don't think he's
nothing
at like
wrong.
Right, exactly. He's not like the self-awareness of Batman and Endeavor, but like he's doing just fine. Leave the man alone.
His kids are alive.
Right?
Scott, what you got, man?
I surprisingly got a decent amount of input on this. I won't lie. All right, guy. This dude, he's in my 3 spot. I'm gonna give him the 3. All right, and let me tell you why. Okay, he's right. All right, he at least ordered his kids some food. You know, that's actually a pretty big. That's a big dad move actually, because you know he could have probably cooked his kids food, but he was just like, you know what, man, chilling with the kids, wife ain't here. Yo, you guys want some chicken sandwiches? You want some chicken nuggets? I got you. And he just ordered it for them. He didn't even care about the repercussions of his wife being like, why didn't you just go do this? Like, because I wanted to get my kids out food. Unfortunately, though,
It's a treat.
unfortunately, Grubhub dad messed up. All right. Cat Williams said it the best. Okay. Cat Williams said the best. It is okay to get high. It is not okay to get high and eat all of your children's cereal. All right. And that's what happened. The food came. Grubhub dad was not in his right mind. And he was like, hold up, don't eat your food. I'm going to eat my food first. And that's what happened in that scenario. He should have been a little bit more attentive to that. That don't make him a bad dad. Just means he's probably stressed from work. All right. But got to feed your kids too.
Hey, Monty,
and he definitely ordered them food, so that's good.
The real one spoke, man. They put him on 3. Is that enough evidence to change his mind, or is he still on 7?
He's a 7, all right.
He's a 3, yo. He is at least feeding his children. He ain't turning his kids into homunculus.
Averaging all of this information right here, man. Yo, Grubhub Dad, he's on the 5. He's on our 5 list right now. So let's see who's going to be on 3. Damn, Monty, we're going to give him a break. All right. This guy we're not going to go too in depth with because we're about to reach our 1 hour mark, and you know we got places to go, people to see, and don't pay attention to the clock behind Mike. But anyway, this man his name is Gendo Ikari from Neo Genesis. If you guys don't know about this man, look it up on YouTube. Let me see if I can put a link right there for you guys to like learn about him, or you watch the whole series so you could actually know why he made it to this list. And trust me, people say he's crappy. But let's start with Scott real quick. Scott, where do you put Mr. Gendo himself?
Director Ikari, man. He's short and sweet, man. He's a crappy dad. He made his kid do things he didn't want to do. Like, you just shouldn't do that. He put him in not like, hey, go down this slide, you'll have fun. It's like, I don't want to do that. No, hey, jump in this giant robot and go fight monster demon angels for us. It's like, no, I don't want to do that, Dad. Too bad. Literally, yo, Dr. Kari, he's like, I don't know if I put anybody in the spot, man, but he's easily probably in like the 10. He's in the bottom 3. He's POS, big time.
I mean, 10, 11, 12 is taken, but yeah, we can put him on 9 if you want.
All right, I'll throw him with 9, man. That's fine. That's fair enough.
All right, Mr. Mike, what you got?
Yeah, I got to put him around like a 7 or 8 or so. Like, I don't think there happened to be like any correlation of like being a good dad with him. Like, his son just happened to be like at a good spot for him, or like a good length with the Evangelion. Like, if it happened to be like just another kid, then like he'd probably still be chilling back at the apartments, and it just so happened to be like his son in there. So he's just like, EG, get in the robot. You know, like, it was like he was just more frustrated that it was his own son, like, that needed to get in the robot. Like, he was just like, you know, just sitting up in the booth, like, and there was just like no emotional support. There was no tie to his son. You know, his son's there having like an emotional and like mental breakdown, and it's just like like nothing, no care for your child, like, at all. And like, yeah, you got a lot of stuff going on, I get that, man, but like, that's not how you get results. Like, nope. it's not. So yeah, I gotta put him around like a 7.
I mean, 7 is taken, but I put an 8 for you because that spot is still open. So depending on Monty vote right now,
7 or 8. Yeah, this one's fun.
I'm gonna say get in the 9 spot, Gendo.
In the 9 spot, he has fallen. Wow. We're down to 2 more people. I did save the best for last because he is definitely recent and he's definitely hot. But back in 2013 or 2011, we were all introduced to this anime called Attack on Titans, right? And this person just showed up. He was there for like probably 2 episodes and no longer seen before. Now, for the manga readers, unfortunately, we're not going to go that in depth. We're just only going to focus on the 4 season that's been, or 3.5 season that's been provided to us, 4.5. So, with that being said, Mr. Grisha Jaeger, the father of Aaron Jaeger, where do we place this man, seeing him on this list? Now, most people say he's not a bad dad because of the manga, but to what we saw in season 4, he looked like a terrible, terrible father. Monty.
All right, short and sweet because the time. But the really cool thing is we get to see him be a dad, two different types of dads at two different points in his life.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna say for me, he is definitely a number 8. It goes Grubhub dad, then Greasy Jaeger, because that's where it is. So
Oh.
all right. Yeah, he was pretty pushy and didn't compromise in his belief what he thought his kids should do.
All right, fair enough. Mike.
I don't know. Can I just get a reminder of where we are with the anime? Because I think I'm further along in the manga than I am in the anime.
Scott.
Where did we leave off
real
with
quick?
that?
Because I'm gonna just say 8 with Monty. I got no feedback on him because I didn't.
But where are we on the anime again? Because is it the invasion yet or no?
No, not just yet. So they had pretty much Zeke is just trying to bounce off the island right now. They had just attacked Marley and they're getting ready for either the rumbling or Aaron's plan right now.
Have we done a flashback?
Yeah, we've done quite a few
randomly.
flashbacks. Yeah,
Okay.
With Zeke's growing up. Yeah.
Okay, and we've done like with like the father in the past.
A little bit, yeah.
Here and there, like they revealed some of the information during season 3 of like what he did to Aaron in a sense, and like all the knowledge that was passed on from him to Aaron. But after that, it's just been like pretty big for the anime watchers, basically.
Okay. I gotta go a little bit higher. Like he's more like he's kind of like around like Thanos for me. It's like he has like higher ideals. Like whether or not you agree with his methods, like he has like bigger ideals. He's trying to save like his whole like race of people that are all like being like very, very oppressed and like almost like exterminated. So. Not best dad, but also not worst dad either. It's he had to do with like what means he had. There wasn't really that he was, and he raised this kid for a good amount of time. So he wasn't exactly an absent father either. So we just missed a good chunk of that time during those raising years. But then he had to leave afterwards. So I don't know. I think I have like spot. Like 4 or 5 open or so. I got to put them up on like the higher side.
4 or 5. All right. So 4 or 5. 8, 4. 6 is already taken. 5 is already taken 2. 4 is taken 2 as well. Oh, Mr.
Who's taking up 5 and 6 right now?
5 right now is Grubhub Dad, because Monty's strong 7. Number 4 is currently Son Goku. He got a unanimous number 4 with all 4.
Who's 6?
6 currently we have Thanos with 755.
Okay, I think he would bump Thanos. I think he's a little better than Thanos. So Thanos would go to a 7 for me, and we put.
7 is Mr. Hana from Baki with your 866.
Yeah, he's better than Hana for me.
Oh, he's way better than Hana. Monty, do you agree with that?
No, yeah. For simplicity's sake, yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah.
Okay, so Hana will drop to a number 8, and then we'll bring him up to Jaeger a 7. 7 is good for you guys?
Yeah. All right. I go with that.
All right. So he is in the centerpiece of this image, as you guys can see. He's standing strong and proudly. He had given us one of the best quote we ever heard in an animation in a long time. Words cannot describe my feelings about him, but I'm not a judge. I'm just only a host. So I present to you guys Mr. Ani-Man himself from Invincible. So, Mike, where do you put Mr. Ani-Man himself, Mr. All-Powerful himself?
What spots do we have open right now?
All right. So right now, tied in second place, we have Endeavor and Mr. Batman. 3 is still Vacant. Number 4, we have Son Goku. Number 5, we have the Grubhub father.
I'm gonna say like he makes like for a good 3 spot. Is like he raised his son for 17 years, so that's not nothing. Like he was a hero for the entire world for 17 years. He raised his son for 17 years, raised him well. When he got his powers, he trained him. He might have had like some motives in the back of his head, but you saw that like that he was very very conflicted. What he did, like during those like couple of weeks between like his son getting powers and like that fight, like I know like I'm not dismissing it that he had a bad day, but what but he also like that decision for him to fly away, you're gonna see has very harsh repercussions for him. Like I finished the comics, so you're gonna see like that has repercussions. Like even Alan the Alien, it told him is like, oh, like Voltramite walking away from his duty, like that's not done. Like that, we've never seen that before. Like I need to report on this. Like this could be the turn of the tide in the war. So like you're gonna see that like that was like a very hard decision for him. So like that was pretty big. Yeah, I gotta put this at at a 3 for him. Like he did some fucked up stuff, like the subway scene. That was fantastic. Holy shit! But yeah, no, like I think like in his like heart of hearts, like I think he was a good dad, and that's what saved him.
All right, by the saving grace of a father to a father, he's on number 3. Monty.
Dude, in my book, I know it's controversial, but because like go with Mike, he's the number 1. Just because of the long term, think about it. He's lived for 1,000 years, so of course things are going to be a little skewed. But everything he did, or eventually ends up doing, is for his family. Like
the next generation. Okay.
Like he's number 1 in my book, man. I love Omni Man. I think he had a rough patch. He had a rough patch for a while. He brings it back. He brings it back. Right?
Yep, coming around.
So as we wait for the last verdict, I do want to remind everybody, please make sure you support the Shinobi Unfolding. We are in all the social media platform. I'm saying we are on the audio podcast as well as the visual stuff on YouTube and Instagram. Also support us on our Facebook page, The Shinobi Unfolding. We have wonderful guests like our good sir Mike. Let me take a second to thank you for taking your time in order to do this with us. I think all the fathers will agree with you because you are in some knowledge. So Mike, thank you again for being part of this episode.
Oh, thank you for having me back. It was a pleasure.
Oh man, can't wait to get you some future one because we're thinking about a cooking episode, and I think you, Monty, and JL might bring some little spice into this. So
we're gonna have a Shoko no Geki.
I mean, like, let's see what the budget say. Let's see what the budget say because we might do so, we might not. But in this scenario, let's do a quick recap from 12 to 3 while Mr. Scott is getting ready to bring his verdict. All right. So in number 12, from Full Metal Optimist, we have Shu Tucker. He is the worst of the worst. You people don't deserve him at all. We don't deserve him at all. From the Avatar Last Airbender, the Fire Lord Ozai, he is 11 because damn, like Zuko was just a kid, man. Give him a break. And you destroy a whole nation too. Out. In number 10, we have Jin from Hunter x Hunter. Now Jin, he was all hype, but it was all sparkle, man. No gold, unfortunately. At number 9, we are switching it over. If you're hearing page flipping, my computer kind of froze up, so I have to write it in paper. We have
the old MapQuest days.
Bro, remember those days?
You like, damn, I think I missed that left.
Let me flip back.
let me legal turn. In number 9, we have the General Ikai from Neon Genesis taking over the spot because you can't force a kid to drop fly robots. But then again, we look at Gundam and then we be like, are we even better than them? But that's here or there for tonight. At number 8, we have Mr. Jiro Hana from Baki the Grappler. Now, like I said, many of us see him as an awful dad. Reason, not that great, not very humane. But to other, it's kind of understandable because in life, we're supposed to challenge each other. So there we put Mr. Hana. Number 7, we have Thanos. He did a horrible thing. R.I.P. You know what I'm saying? She was a great daughter, but doesn't deserve that. I lie. He's number 6. Number 7 is actually Mr. Jaeger from Attack on Titan. Number 6 is Thanos. Number 5 is the Grubhub dad because of a solid 7.
Judging.
That's neglect, all right?
Son Goku is number 4, and depending on Scott's vote, he could be either the tiebreaker or the maker on 3, 2, and 1. So, Oniman, Scott, where do we place him?
He's a terrible dad.
Oh,
He's a
God.
terrible dad.
Dear God.
But I give him like I don't know, just to use him as like a scorer. I don't know what I have left. I think I'm gonna have a 4 left or 5. I want to use one of those because I mean he did well up until that. And you even see like how humanity like rubs off on him a little bit, which is kind of nice. And even towards the end, with what Mark says to him at the end, which will go down in history as like one of those great like anime speeches. You know, he realized he messed up. He really did. He like that way it was animated to me. That was like I messed up. I messed up, and he realized that, and that's why he flew away. So, and I think he's got some type of heart, but he just doesn't know what to do with it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that 4, we have a 3 and a 1. We have Oniman on the 3rd spot. Wowzers. So the question is this: who is a better dad between the tying on the 2nd place between Batman and Mr. Endeavor? Guys, you know, we're at the final spot on the final moment of our episode. This is the make or break moment. We have Batman, the detective, the billionaire, the person that raised not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 different type of Robin, because we didn't even talk about Stephanie. But anyway, we talked about Robins, and we saw how one became a badass. One became, following the footstep of Batman, and we also saw one that was his son that he didn't know about, but then he knew about. And we can't forget about Terry as well, who he raised him at the age of 17. And then we have Mr. Endeavor, who with 4 tries found the perfect son. He understand he made mistake, but he was man enough to look his son in the eye and tell him, you know what, as a man, I messed up and I apologize. So, my fellow Kages, you're an honorary Kage today, Mike. Where do we place these men? And you guys are only gonna have to say, and this is for number 1 spot too. So I'm gonna call your name one by one, and all you're gonna say who should be on the 1st spot. And we're either gonna have a tie break. Well, we're gonna have a winner because there's 3 of y'all. So here we go. So we're gonna start with one of the old heads, Monty, who deserved the
number
1st
1 spot. I'm giving it to Batman.
Batman. All right. Let me see. Scott, who's gonna be in the 1st spot?
Mine's is Endeavor.
And we're tied 1-1. Drum roll. Mike, the tiebreaker. Who deserved to be the best dad in our Shinobi Unfolding List 2021?
I think Scott and Mike should fight it out. They're the best dad. All right.
For the supremacy of Datum.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Scott. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to OMK. Y'all the real ones out there, man. Thank you for being the example and a father figure for our generation. We appreciate you guys. But Mike, back to you. Who is number 1?
For a father figure, I'm going with Batman. Yep, we have Batman and Endeavor. Endeavor is an excellent example as a man because he self-reflects and he works on becoming a better man. But Batman is working on bettering his children and his mentorees. So I'm going with Batman.
And there you guys have it. The Dark Knight himself rose from the bottom, came to the top. He have defeated higher beings. He defeated superheroes. He defeated the strongest men ever just to prove it doesn't matter if you have power or not. I am Batman. I am great. Guys, we have made it to the final of the show. There's not going to be any type of enemy recommendation unless, Mike, you got 5 minutes to give a recommendation?
Yeah, I do. Speaking
All
of fathers, we got the All Father showing up in our newest show that's out now, The Record of Ragnarok. It is on Netflix. It is subbed. It is dubbed, whatever your preference may be. It is lovely. It's all action. First episode is mostly introduction. I put it this way: however you like your Godzilla movies, if you like the human interaction stuff, watch the first episode. If you just like to see the monsters fight, skip the first episode and just go right to the fight in episode 2 and they're on. But the action is good stuff.
Beautiful. Monty, what's your recommendation?
Oh man, I just rewatched Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai.
Tears. Oh.
So if you haven't watched this from 2017, I highly recommend Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. The OP's a bop, the story's amazing, and the outro, bananas, iconic.
Tears, damn, pulling strings. Senpai, what's your recommendation?
Same as Mike. Record of Ragnarok.
Okay. And lastly for me, my recommendation for you is check out Sweet Tooth. It's on Netflix. It's a movie talking about the hybrid, about kids having certain attributes of animals in a sense. It's not too long, but it's very enjoyable. Beautiful color. I kind of enjoyed the soundtrack. I will tell you more, but I don't want to ruin it for you guys. But definitely recommend Sweet Tooth on Netflix. So there you guys have it. Fellas, once again, thank you for being part of this episode. The ranking is going to be written in stone and in audio for our listener. If you agree with this, give us a thumbs up. Let us know that we did a good job. But if we did terrible and you disagree with any of these here, and trust me, fight at us, okay? At the Shinobi Unfolded, at us, and we'll talk. We'll be civil and debate about it. But that's all of it for tonight. Buenas noches. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Mike, thank you again for being part of the show. We say
thanks for having
peace and good night.
How you doing?